very realistic that either of these two teams will win this entire thing. So it is a battle of the Titans, and it looks like that game is ready to go. Cold Esports versus Kings Clan. Let's get right into it.
Well, here we go then, Tabes, into day number 2 and into the winners bracket final. As Bryce mentioned, neither one of these two teams have been defeated so far. Cold Esports taking on Kings Clan, and we will be heading over towards Summit first on Hardpoint. And for you, I mean, who are you favoring here? Because I know Cold are the favorites, but Kings Clan really impressed me with every single one of their games yesterday.
I'm really, it's going to be a tough game if you ask me. I'm just looking forward to seeing Kings Clan if they can really step up and lock this game down. I know I've been looking a little bit at Ver on Kings Clan's team there, and I'm hoping that he's going to be able to step up. He's been struggling on a couple of games, so I just saw when the game started there, he got a couple of kills. So I'm thinking maybe this is the day where he's actually going to wake up for Kings Clan.
There was definitely some moments from Ver yesterday, but of course, as mentioned, his KD not looking the best out of his team. Still in a 0.97, so he's not far off that 1 KD, which is what you really want to be aiming for. But right now, we are going to be heading over towards the catwalk. Let's have a look who is going to be the first ones there. It's looking as if Kings Clan are going to have control, but it's about having control of top lab as well. Angel inside the hardpoint. It has to be careful of these Molotovs coming in, but we can see the control for Cold Esports coming in up top, and that might allow them just to get control here. And now this should be a kill for Inferno, though. Can he clean up top? Can't find Sav, and that is going to be Cold Esports in control of the hardpoint.
You can already tell though that iBot is off to a pretty good start here. I see him in the kill feed popping off all the time. So maybe we saw a couple of plays from him yesterday. So I'm willing to keep an eye out for him. Maybe he's the guy who's going to be able to lock this this hardpoint down and get the even score line here.
Let's see then. I'm just looking towards these spawns and where everybody's going to be sitting here, and it's looking as if on the side of Cold, they're going to have the spawns going into P2. But looking on the right-hand side of your screen, we do have the losers match going on there as well. It looks like Hammers are having a good time of things on Hardpoint so far. 88-1 right now, looking good for them.
I'm looking forward to seeing Hammerpoint. Hammer Esports, of course. Sorry, they're have been really strong, and unfortunately, if you remember yesterday, they had a little bit of a mishap too during their game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they can just look past that little technical difficulties, where a little bit of an AFK during mid game, basically on search and destroy and firing range, if I'm not misremembering. So I feel like maybe Hammer Esports is willing and also hungry for a comeback today.
There's actually Singularity in the lead there. I do apologize. Really dominating that first map. Just having worked towards the game attack. Singularity very much dominating. But in this one, Kings Clan have taken lead. It was looking as if Cold Esports did have that rotation over towards P3, but Kings Clan do manage to break on through nice and easily and will take up most of these points. 22 seconds remaining on this one, but it's a big old rotation over towards P4. They should be able to pick up the rest of this scrap, although one push comes through and Jim finds 3 just like that with the shotgun, and that's going to shut down every single bit of this scrap time. And yes, Big does go down and doesn't get a lot of time for his team, but what he's done there is push Kings Clan right back. Now they're going to spawn out towards the right hand side. They've got a longer route to get there and they don't get as much scrap points. Big play out of Jim.
I'm sure right now that Cold Esports were actually looking forward to that rotation they're already set up on it. And I was just impressed with Jim. Like, if you look at his shotgunning over this course of this tournament, I don't think anyone has anywhere near as many shotgun kills as he has. But you also know that he's good with the sniper. So once we're swapping over to maybe a little bit of a longer map, he's going to whip that one out again. And I'm hoping that we maybe get some jump shots or some quick scope from him as well. It's already 99 points here. There's not that much left done. So you still think that Kings Clan is going to be able to clutch this one home?
Well, I don't know. It's 25 seconds left on this one. Cold seem to be holding very well. Of course, we will now go back to the middle after this one. And oh my god, great shots by Yaya. Absolutely flying in and around the back of the map here. Looking towards his KD yesterday, the second highest on Cold with a 1.4. And he's going to be adding further to that one with this. 13 kills in this map so far.
Oh, it looks so easy for him. Look at this. He's kind of been flying under the radar as well. We have not really focused on him that much, but he's just getting consistent amounts of damage and kills for his team.
deleting people across the map. Fantastic play from him, but back to the middle we go. Cold Esports did get a decent amount of time on this one last time round, but it's all about that rotation over towards P2. You want to have the gondola side spawn so you can try and lock them in for P3 as well, although we may not even get there. There's enough time on offer over these next 2 hills for one of these 2 teams to win it. Right now it's looking more and more like Cold Esports, but saying that, a few members do go down and Kings Clan will lock this one in. Good use of the incense and the stuns as well, just keeping them at bay as best they can. Cold Esports out in the cold in the ice, but look at the Goliath, that's coming on in now as well. All these score streaks are going to make a difference as Jim finds more. That's 3 kills for Jim up top. Fantastic plays from him, 12 kills for him in this map, and Cold Esports can lock this one in, but they can't win here. They have to win it at P2. They are still going to be at 10 seconds away or so by the time we get over towards this next hill. That's all for Kings Clan to do here.
I think it's going to be very hard for Kings Clans to take anything left here with Ibot on 19. Scratch that 20 kill with a Goliath. That's going to help tremendous amount for his team. I think it's going to be difficult for Kings Clan to do anything about it unless possibly they can hit some sort of RPG or rocket on that Goliath.
Just needs to stay alive up top here. If they can lock down this control, it's very, very difficult for Kings Clan to push on through. Yaya in the hill. He's going to manage to find a kill down there as well. There's nobody else near it. Cold Esports will take map number 1 in the winners bracket final.
That is impressive. I did not expect that to happen as quickly. I think that the Goliath could have been a big impact. I'm starting to wonder if Ibot might be one of the people that we want to look forward to for an MVP spot for this tournament, because he's just been getting kills consistently all over.
No, I think he's been great, and obviously Cold Esports there. They looked like they were in a little bit of trouble about halfway through that hard point, but ended up coming back there. And obviously, you know, Jim had a big hold on by the ice hard point, so it's really interesting to see these two go to war. I did say before we got started, you know, both these 2 teams incredibly talented, so it should be a close game. And when you get a comeback like that from Cold Esports, you get a really good rotation and bring themselves right back into the game. It shows exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, they weren't in a great place. They started prioritizing the rotations, and then when they started to get it, they basically didn't allow Kings Clan to get any more points on the map. I think that I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was probably less than 10 after that switch.
Yeah, exactly.
It was very, very difficult. Of course, that transition over towards P4 towards the ice, you can really lock that down, can't you? You just force these numbers out and the small choke points that Kings Clan now then have to get through. So it makes it very, very difficult for them to make that push, and they just lock it down very, very well, do Cold. And from there, it's plain sailing. You've got such a big lead. You just keep it scrappy in the middle, head over towards P2. You got the Goliath up top. You're laughing. It's easy. It's easy from that point. So Cold Esports played that very well.
It certainly does. It's always going to be intimidating when the Goliath is anywhere on the map. We sit there and I look at him like, as a player, I wouldn't even know where to begin to try and take one down. You know, and that's why I like to see the Goliath versus Goliath battles. Right? It's basically like whoever wins this one, it comes out with just a big advantage for their team. But it depends for me, especially on what kind of map you're running it on, whether or not it'll be as effective. And as we saw there, incredibly effective on some, it turns out.
Yeah, and I think it's just the position they decided to use it in as well, locking up that top lab control when it's moving over towards the railings hard point. Crucial. You have to do it. You can't have players on the opposite side of the team jumping down from up top. There's so many different angles they could come at you from. So if you have controlled the hard point and rails and up top, you can lock down so many points, and it was a very, very clean end to the hard point there.
All right, well, let's talk about the next map. Search and Destroy is going to be our next game mode here, and obviously it's all on Cold now to keep this lead. It turns out it has started, so let's hand it back over to our casters.
Thank you very much, Brycey, and over towards firing range we go. I'm expecting a lot of sniper play coming out here, and this is when we did see quite a lot from King Clan. Nox has been fantastic with the sniper so far this weekend. It's not Team Singularity against Hammers Esports. We're still in this winners bracket final. But Nox, what can he do with this sniper? He's been so influential for his team here, Tabes. Can he prove to be influential once again in the winners bracket final?
I'm hoping that we are going to be able to see him really pop off. I mean, he's been getting a lot of important frags, but right now it's kind of a slow push of both teams. Nobody really willing to show themselves. So it's pretty much anyone's game right now. It's interesting for Team Singularity that seem to be a very even team, except maybe for Narcs who's stepping up a little bit. So it's anyone's game right now.
Well, Inferno gonna have to get the hell out of there now. Kings Clan pressure coming on. They're gonna have to back on down. No kills coming in, but the longer that this goes on, the better it is for the defensive side. They've just got to hold for that a little bit less. Now here comes the push. Inferno pushes up. Is he going to be the bait? I'm not too sure. Bot gives it a little shoulder check, but there we go. We can see that the site has been completely taken over by Kings Clan. That bomb will now be going down, and it will have to be called Esports to get back in here and retake this site. Could it be the grenade from Yaya?
The call-out could have came a little faster for Cold Esports there. I mean, they were actually having a lot of time to just kind of push in before Ibot there, who was closest, did the call-up, and now it's just a brawl. It's just people dying left and right that I'm gonna need you done to is a little faster than me at speaking to take this away.
It's already done. It's already done.
Yeah, it was so fast.
The Molotov goes onto the bomb, but it's not going to make a difference. That one's now going to get defused. Well played by Cold Esports, and it gets opened up by a kill from Jim. Manages to find 2 kills in the end there with the sniper, and that just opens things up for Cold Esports to try and retake. They do so successfully.